So we're again back here with Pixie and me. How are you guys doing? So this is the second day of January 2025, and we're doing our second outing, Pixie and I. And today I'm going to test a couple more features, but I do want to I'm talking about the camera, the Osmo Action, DJI Osmo Action 4. Previously, as I mentioned before in another video, if you look up here, you'll see I have had a DJI Osmo Action 1, and there are some features, quite a few more features on this Osmo Action 4. So I'm just going to test out a couple more. One thing I do want to talk about is battery life. So yesterday I did some shooting. Pixie and I walked up close to the forest. Today we're going to go into the forest. I'll show you what that looks like here. And when I still have my Osmo Action 1, the battery was an issue. So I bought 2 extra batteries. I've done the same with this Osmo Action 4, expecting the same thing. But I've noticed that the battery is much stronger on this camera. Lasts much longer. So yeah, that's a good thing. Let's keep going. So I said we get... Don't eat that, Pixie. Don't eat that. I said we get into the forest, and here we are. Well, a small part of it. As we get up and over this little curve up here coming up, we're going to be in a farm field. And that's a horse farm. But he also does crops. Hay. I think he does hay, and I think he does also... I'm not sure what else he does. But there are 2 or 3 crops that he does. And when it snows, on the other side of the farm, it's all grassland, and the kids, and a hill, and the kids take their sleds and go down that hill. Oh my God. So much fun. Just watching them have fun from a distance, you know. And their parents, and they're just families having fun. Man, that's awesome. Okay. Coming on up to the field here. Let's look back. The sun's behind us, and you'll see some true colors. I'm moving the camera up so that my shadow is not in there. Also, to test and see if you guys can hear me clearly. The camera is about a meter from me. I'm trying not to talk it louder. So, what was the sound like for that? Coming on down. Let's go into this field here. So I'm constantly moving the camera and turning it. And I'm not trying to hold the camera very steady. Why? Because we're testing the Rocksteady Plus. And this is just me just keeping the camera vertical, but not really focusing on I'm not focusing on keeping it still. Okay. It's kind of a nice scene there. Look at that. Pixie loves the smells around here, especially coming out of the forest. This is right next to where the horses are. And I'm holding the camera, as I did in my other video, upside down. And it's low to the ground to give this video the perspective, the world from Pixie's perspective. Come on. So we're now in a larger forest, and the snow didn't really... Well, the snow was here, but because of the trees, not much stayed on the ground. So this is pretty much all clear up here, except where people haven't walked. Now, I'm going to take you over to this running track. And this is a track that goes through the forest that is made out of sawdust. And I'm not really sure how long it is. It might be 1 kilometer long, but it makes a circuit through the forest. And that's what it looks like. This way and that way. This is the sawdust track. We're not allowed on it unless we're running. There's a 500 there, so it makes me think 500 meters. And gosh, she's just sitting. And so I know it might be at least 1 kilometer long, maybe longer, not really sure. Maybe one of these days I can come here and test it out, run it, you know? Now, also, there's this little hut here, and people, when they're running, they can take a break here. I see some coats left behind. That's very common. People don't take things here. They just leave them for the people to come back and get. They hang them up sometimes. That's happened to me, actually. Here's a bench. This is like a little rest stop. It's kind of nice, isn't it? Okay, let's keep going. So now we're going to test that zooming function. Let's see what it's like. Alright, zoom. There we are, up to 2. Ritzy. And so that's how. Let's zoom back, okay? Zoom. And there we are. So it was really easy to use. Let's keep walking. We're still in the forest. Pixie's turning me around. There's that running track still. Rocksteady Plus is on. Here's a wood pile. Alright. The forest is, there's an opening there. Now, this whole forest is managed by a lumber company. You can see they've cut some logs here. But they manage it so well. I mean, they just don't go in and cut down a whole section. They don't do this. They selectively cut. And I guess they're cutting for purposes. They want this type of diameter tree. They only take this many trees. So it's really, look at that. Let's keep going. I have said this many times. The Swiss, we live in Switzerland here. The Swiss love outdoor activities like hiking or biking or skiing, of course. And on these trails through the forest, you see so many people. And not just that, you see different types of people. You see elderly people, you see very young people, you see families, whole families, walking these trails, teaching their children that outside is very important, nature is very important. So these trails are very, very important to the Swiss. And I think it's wonderful. I really do. Now, this trail here, if I continue on this trail, I will walk to another village. And then another, and then another. Pixie and I, one day, we walked about 10 kilometers, 6 miles, and one way. And getting back, of course, was another 10, but we walked to 3 different villages. Not using streets, not using the train, but using these forest trails. It was in the fall. It was beautiful. So if you'd like to see a little bit of the hiking that Pixie and I do together, just check up here, okay? Now, up there in the corner you might see an I, and that I means information. It also means a link to another video, and that's for all YouTube. Okay, looking around, looking around. Whoa, that over there looks kind of deep. Deep and dark forest, right? I love it. Okay, let's keep going. So for the last 10 or 15 minutes, I have been taking pictures to put in this video. I'll tell you why. Because I want you, when you see these pictures on YouTube, to really be critical of the quality of the pictures. Why? Because DJI did something different with this camera, and it actually went backwards. My Osmo Action 1 has 12 megapixels pictures, and this one has only 10. And I think they did that so that they could add some other features. So we are walking again in the forest. There's no field to the side. And one of the things I want to do also today is say thank you to all of you that watch these videos. They're not terribly exciting. There's not a lot of music in the background. But I want to say thank you for watching and commenting, liking. If you want to like, of course, press the button. You don't have to. If you want to subscribe, you can. That's completely up to you. But I would appreciate any comments. Comments about the content or how the content is presented. Thank you. Okay? So we're just going to, Pixie and I, that's the second time. We're just going to continue down this path here. Wasn't that pretty? And we'll see you guys later, okay? In the next one. Bye-bye.